Chapter 101 No Talk, No Talk. Your robbery, Blue Sea, don't take it too far. Weber's face was flushed with anger, and he pointed at Shajur-Ching and charged. Hee, too much. Your Excellency Weber, have you been on this Sky Island for a long time, and you are out of touch with the society? This is too much. You probably haven't seen the really too much. I can tell you anyway, let you make a choice. You must know that some people don't even give you the opportunity to refute. Shajur-Ching Isho glanced over Ganfuer's face and Weber's flushed cheeks. He looked at the group of people from the Shandia clan again, and instructed Enel behind him. Enel, gather all the priests under your command, and give me a good look at Sky Island. If someone is going to attack, let them not block too much. I want to see how many people will not be afraid of death. Since some people don't want to give face, why bother? Let's go. Shajur-Ching glanced at everyone present again and was about to leave. Your Excellency, don't you think this is too much? Apahado Island has always been our territory. Is it something that a strong man like you should do? A woman from the Shandia family spoke, clenching her fists tightly, and said very unwillingly. Yes, it's too much. Your behavior is really inconsistent with your identity. Not all of the Shandia clan were elm heads, and someone immediately followed suit. After the short contact just now, they also understood that the person in charge of the fate of this Sky Island is the young man in front of him, not the god Enel. Shajur-Ching seems to be more friendly and talkative, and they hope that their suggestions will make Shajur-Ching change his mind. Oh, excessive. Shajur-Ching turned around to look at the woman, and smiled. Tell me how it's too much. I took back this Apayado Island from Enel's hands. I prove it is there's something wrong with him. You always say that Apayado is your territory. How do you prove it? Your ancestors only occupied the island of Apayado when it was unowned, and lived on it for hundreds of years. Is there any problem with occupying this unclaimed place now? Shajur-Ching narrowed his eyes and said, Enel, after this matter, I will give you special training. Of course, I will also re-establish the order of this Sky Island. At that time, if someone blocks it, I will kill without mercy. In this sentence, Shajur-Ching's murderous intent was awe-inspiring, making one's soul shudder. I know, I will. I'm looking forward to it. When the time comes, don't stand still, or I will still get back the despair you gave me today. Enel is arrogant and Isho. He followed behind Shajur-Ching, and was about to leave. Hee, stay where you are. No, since I dare to teach you something, I'm not afraid that you will surpass me. As soon as Shajur-Ching said this, he instantly disappeared in place. And Enel also glanced at everyone present with a half-smile, like a fox and a tiger, and then turned into a thunderbolt and left. The people of the Shandia family and Ganfuer who were present watched Shajur-Ching and Enel leave like this, and didn't say anything for a while. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 102 Numb and Forget. They looked at the dying people of the Shandia clan on the ground, and a thick struggle flashed in their eyes. However, no one made any move towards that Apayado Island. Even if it's Weber, he only feels that the world is so dark, his fists are clenched, he can't catch his breath, and he still doesn't move. The warning Shajur-Ching gave them was real. These elite warriors of the Shandia clan lying on the ground are a warning. And what makes Weber and the others most desperate is that Shajur-Ching is not only stronger than Enel, but also has a much stronger mind than Enel. Compared to Enel who only manages Sky Island with a playful mentality, Shajur-Ching is serious and has regarded Sky Island as his territory. And any act of provocating his territory will be hit by his terror. Is there really no way? Can we just watch him do whatever he wants to occupy our clan's land? A young man from the Shandia clan gritted his teeth and said unwillingly. No one answered him, only a faint sigh and a clenched fist answered him. Ganfuer glanced at Weber and the others, sighed, then shook his head and left. Shajur-Ching is too strong, and he does not dare to disobey Shajir Ching's orders. Can't we just agree to his unreasonable request? Can't we take back the dominance of our clan forever? For the first time in Weber's life, he felt this powerless. This feeling is so uncomfortable and so unacceptable. Every time I mentioned it, I regretted it, until I was completely numb and forgotten. On the other side, the sky below 9,000 meters. Is this the blue sea? It seems to be quite vast. Enel couldn't help but exclaimed in amazement. Looking at the wide sea always makes people feel better. Get ready, what you're going to face next is not this lazy life anymore. In the days to come, put away your arrogance and ego. There are too many people who can kill you on this ocean. There are many people who treat me as an ant. If you don't want to die like this, I advise you not to be too public. This point must be made clear to Enel, otherwise, Enel may die in the hands of someone. I know, I won't underestimate anyone. I just want to know how many powerhouses there are in this blue sea. Hee, it must feel good to fight against powerhouses. Enel said with a look of longing. Looking at his appearance, Shajir Ching couldn't help shaking his head. He couldn't bear to attack him. Fight against the powerhouses of the blue sea. I hope he won't be beaten and can't get up. Blue sea has too many powerhouses that make him completely unstoppable. There are too many people who can hang and beat him. When the time comes, you will know how powerful this blue sea powerhouse is. Enel, you have to be mentally prepared. Shajir Ching looked at his own ship that was being carried by the going boat and gradually landed on the sea, and thought so in his heart. On the sea not far from where Shajir Ching landed, a pirate group with 2 long knife pirate flags was slowly approaching. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 103 Come, Why Go? Today's harvest is good, enough brothers to have a good time. This summer's Chamber of Commerce doesn't look like much, but there is a lot of money. Hee, looting them is indeed a correct idea. A tall, thin man, about 3 meters tall, with 2 long knives hanging from his waist, a man with orange hair, grinned and showed a smug smile. The captain is wise, starving to death, cowardly, and courageous. Others fear the power of his thunder hunter, but our slasher pirates are not afraid of him. A man whose half of his face was occupied by a centipede-like scar. His eyes were hot, but he said flatteringly. The vice captain is right, we run away after we grab it. The sea is so big that even if his thunder hunter has wings and has the ability to turn the sky, he may not be able to find us. What's more, it just so happens that the thunder hunter Natsu disappeared recently. I see, he must have been killed by the captain of the 5th Division of Whitebeard. Such a good time, don't rob him. A man in a green flowery dress said madly with pursed lips. Captain is wise. A group of pirates followed suit and made a sound. Ha ha ha, of course. The captain listened to the flattery of his subordinates, it was quite flirtatious, and at this moment, their heads suddenly darkened. When they looked up, they saw a glittering golden spaceship with a small boat hanging below it, slowly descending. That seductive luster made all the pirates in the room couldn't help gulping together. They only felt that their breathing was a lot faster in an instant, a boat built by going. They swore that they would never do such crazy things in their lives. They just watched the boat land on the sea, while the going boat was suspended in the air, exuding a terrifying aura and a huge magnetic field. The slasher pirates. At this time, a voice came from the boat. It was lazy and a little weak, but it had an unknown magic power, which attracted the attention of everyone present. I saw a young man in white with a talking phone in his hand, and slowly walked out of the shadows. How could it be him? The eyes of the captain of the slasher pirates were originally full of anticipation, but after seeing the face of this young man, he suddenly turned into disbelief and even a little panic. Exactly, at this time, the young man's eyes also looked over. He said to the other end of the phone bug, "What is the pirate flag with 2 knives and skeletons on a black background? It seems that my luck is not bad. I happened to be right where I landed, and I met the target you are hunting for, Anna. Quick, quick turn, speed up, speed up. Thunder Hunter Natsu, the captain took a breath and roared in a panic, he's chasing, run away. What? Thunder Hunter Nachi. The crew members couldn't help but look at the lazy young man in white again, and said in disbelief. That could be wrong, I recognize him even if he turns to ashes. Run, we can't possibly be his opponent. The captain of the slasher pirates is called Jin Si, and he is very aware of the strength gap between himself and Xia Ching. His 124 million Bailey bounty is not enough in front of Xia Ching. Since we met so by chance, why should we leave again? Shouldn't we pay a price for taking something that shouldn't be taken? Yes, this young man in white is Xia Ching. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 104. You are not qualified. He said to the phone bug in his hand. Anna, let's not talk about it for now, I'll talk about it after I get rid of these thieves. After he finished speaking, he hung up. People have also disappeared in place. Sometimes things just happen to be so coincidental. 3 minutes ago, when Xia Ching was about to land, a call from Anna came. Anna informed him that his summer chamber of commerce was looted by a group called the Slasher Pirates. And the thing is, so coincidentally, the bottom of Xia Ching's landing is exactly the pirate ship of the Slasher Pirates. It's as if they were delivered to the door by themselves. Back to reality, the next moment, Xia Ching appeared on the ship of the Slasher Pirates. Everyone, it's not good to be in such a hurry to leave. You took my things, don't you plan to give me an explanation? Xia Ching narrowed his eyes and said with a smile. But including Jin's, no one thinks Xia Ching's smile is kind. Facing this smile, they only had an endless chill pouring into their hearts. How do you want? Jin Si is trembling when he speaks. Facing such a young Xia Ching, he only feels that the road ahead is gloomy. What do you think? Isn't it easy? Hand over the treasure, and then, apology. You have killed so many people in my chamber of commerce, I can't help but give them an explanation. Xia Ching fiddled with the purple blade in his hand, so that he could take care of himself. Giggle. Immediately, kings and his subordinates all clenched their fists, and the breath instantly became fierce. Do you have to be so unfeeling? There's no room to retreat. Jins asked with a gloomy face. Many pirates behind him have fierce eyes, and they will turn into the most vicious jackals just waiting for King's order, and they will rush up to tear Xia Ching. Hee, heartless. Xia Ching laughed, and then his eyes suddenly stern. When you killed so many of my subordinates, why didn't you say heartless? Bastard, don't go too far. Let me see how powerful the so-called Thunder Hunter is. The deputy captain, who had scars on half of his face, roared, and turned into a big wolf more than 3 meters tall, biting towards Xia Ching. Give it all to me. Since he refuses to give us a way to live, let him fight and let the Thunder Hunter know that we are not easy to mess with. Jin Si is also a person who broke the boat. Seeing that Xia Ching did not intend to let them go, they also fought hard. Hee, desperately, Xia Ching clenched the fire in her hand, and a dazzling thunder light instantly lingered on her body. Do you ants have that qualification? Puff puff. No one saw how Xia Ching moved. The deputy captain suddenly fell to the ground, and a large blood splashed from his chest, staining the ground red. Not only that, but the few pirates who were close to the deputy captain suddenly fell with blood on their chests. Next, it's your turn, the knife cutter kins. Xia Ching appeared in front of Jin's like a ghost. His force value was only 68. Xia Ching could easily kill him. What? It wasn't until Xia Ching, who was surrounded by thunder and lightning, got close, that Jin's reacted, but it was too late. PFF'd. A sword stabbed out from behind him, and the terrifying thunder and lightning instantly wrapped him, causing him to let out a terrifying scream. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 105 Good work, Anna. Bastard, give the captain a burial. When the other pirates saw this scene, they all rushed over, slashed with their knives, or took out muskets and shot at Shajur-Ching. But it's a pity. How is it possible? The sword could not break the lightning strike armor on Shajur-Ching's body at all, and the bullets of the musket were like cotton bullets hitting the iron plate, constantly falling. It won't hurt Shajur-Ching at all. With this kind of strength, you dare to plunder my summer chamber of commerce, which is really great. Shajur-Ching expressionlessly threw Jinsi, who had been struck by lightning, into a charred corpse, and said, Chiandoryu. The next moment, the entire ship completely became a sea of lightning. Ah! All the pirates instantly turned into thrillers, and then fell to the ground blackened. Slasher pirates, destroy the group. Evolution point +40. Just 2 hours after the Shajur-Ching group destroyed the slasher pirates, Anna arrived. Lord Shajur-Ching, fortunately you are here, so we don't have much loss. I haven't seen each other for a few days, and Anna looks a lot haggard. I worked hard during the time I left. Shajur-Ching looked at Anna, sincerely Isho. This is the first time Enel has seen this kind of smile from Shajur-Ching's face. It's not hard work, for the cause of Lord Shajur-Ching, no matter how hard it is, it's worth it. Anna shook her head, indicating that she did not work hard. Send all these treasures back, and tell Gills that his sister will appear in front of him in a few days, and let him give me a good development. Shajur-Ching wiped the sweat off Anna's face, and after instructing her, she rushed to the going boat. By the way, there are about a few thousand caddies of going in this boat, you should take it back with you too. Let Gills and Seymour see if it can be used for research and development. If not, it will be circulated as ordinary treasure. Hearing Shajur-Ching's words, Anna couldn't help being a little surprised. Then he came to the boat where Shajur-Ching was located, looked at Shajur-Ching and said, Lord Shajur-Ching, you really can find treasure no matter where you go. After hearing this, Shajur-Ching couldn't help scratching his head helplessly, and said, then what can I do? We are in the early stage of business and need a lot of money. As the boss, I can't let the forces fall into a situation where the capital chain is broken. Understood, Shajur-Ching, you have to be careful, the other party is Shichibukai after all, not so easy to deal with. Anna glanced at Enel next to Shajur-Ching and said, Shajur-Ching, don't worry, Moria is strong, but not so strong that I can't fight it. After listening, Anna nodded. But suddenly, as if he remembered something, his face was full of worry and said, Lord Shajur-Ching, Seymour seems to have robbed another batch of Shichibukai's goods recently, will he be retaliated by him? Another Shichibukai, sand crocodile, or sea rogue Doflamingo? Shajur-Ching thought for a while and asked. Don Quixote, Doflamingo, Anna replied solemnly. This is a bit of a hassle. Tell Seymour to stop fighting with any other forces while I'm away. Also, the recruited escort forces are trained to deal with possible dangers. Doflamingo should not come in person, but his subordinates are not necessarily. After thinking about it for a while, Shajur-Ching said. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 106 Horror Bark. Well, I see. Anna nodded and drove away with the going loaded ship. Come on, Enel, it's time for our business. Shajur-Ching glanced at the figure of Anna leaving, and sat on the going boat with Moonstep. Hey, business, looks like it's going to be fun. When Enel heard Isho, his face was full of excitement. And on the other side of the sea, the Dressrosa of the New World. Fur, the Thunder Hunter Natsu, you've grabbed something and grabbed my head, you're really brave. You're just starting out, so you think you can challenge me. I'm curious, where did your arrogance come from? Doflamingo, with Erlang's legs crossed, stood up, and with the surprised expressions of his subordinates, he used his threadfruit ability to walk away. Young Master actually dispatched himself. GGG, I wonder if this Thunder Hunter can withstand the young Master's anger. I hope it won't be badly beaten by the young Master. The old man Lao Ji looked at Doflamingo, who was leaving, and showed a weird smile. Thunder Hunter, this idiot, doesn't know how to live or die. Dare to provoke our Don Quixote family, this time Dover personally dispatched. I should be able to see the news of his death tomorrow. Codenamed Diamond, Diamante, who leads the fighting group, grinned and said with a hideous smile. The rest of the officials of the Don Quixote family also showed a strong sense of ridicule and contempt. For them, Shazherqing's reputation is indeed hot, but after all, he is just a newcomer, and it is impossible to make waves in the hands of Doflamingo. From the beginning to the end, they did not take Shazherqing in their eyes. The first half of the Great Route, the waters near the Devil's Triangle. It's not easy to reach the Devil's Triangle at last. Shazherqing looked at the huge terrifying three-masted ship that looked like an island in front of him, and grinned with a very happy smile. Just when Shazherqing arrived at the Devil's Triangle, Moria in the terrifying three-masted ship also sensed Shazherqing. He, there seems to be an incredible raw material for zombies. With a fiery head, Moria suddenly opened her eyes with large scissors, stood up, and walked out of the house. At the same time Moria got up and walked out of the house, 3 of Moria's cadres also dispatched at the same time. They followed Moria's back and walked out of the house. Wait until Shazherqing and Enel arrive at the square of the central castle of the Terror Bark. Moria, and his 3 monsters, Absalom the Transparent Man, Corona the Princess Mononoke, the genius Surgeon Hogbuck, and a horde of zombies are already waiting for them. Moria, first meeting. Shazherqing very politely introduced himself to Moria, who was like a Molotov cocktail. Thunder Hunter, I don't know what you want to do here. If you don't give me a satisfactory explanation today, then leave your shadow as a reward. Moria said that. She moved the black scissors in her hands, and said with sharp eyes. I asked you for someone. If you are willing to give it to me, I will leave immediately, and I will never disturb your tranquility again. Shazherqing Isho, and stopped the excited Enel behind him who wanted to fight, said. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 107 Just Those Ants. Hearing this, Moria glanced at the very attractive Enel, a strange color flashed in her eyes, and then continued to ask, I don't know who you want from me. Shazherqing, a little girl. His brother's name is Gilles. Oh, Gilles, this seems to be a familiar name. Moria suddenly narrowed her eyes and said with a smile. If you want me to give you this little girl, what can you give me? Could it be that you want to grab it directly? Moria said that her body leaned towards Shazherqing, her eyes were full of fierce light. If I say yes. Shazherqing looked up at Moria fearlessly and said. Then let me see your strength. Can you support your big talk, kid? Moria waved the large scissors in her hand and slashed with great force. Bang! Shazherqing held up the knife to block it, and said to Enel behind him, I showed you the appearance of that girl when I came here, and I leave it to you. Hand it over to him. Do you think my horror bark is the place where you can make trouble if you want? When Moria heard this, she immediately smiled disdainfully. Isn't it a random place? Shazherqing showed a meaningful expression, and then became extremely contemptuous. Then see if the cadres and zombies under your command can stop him. Just after Shazherqing finished speaking, Enel waved. It's just you. I want to stop this god. It seems that you need to let you know the horror of God. 100 million volts. Brontosaurus. Enel is a super powerful move as soon as it comes up. A brontosaurus whose head was half the height of Moria, roared proudly, and crashed directly into the zombie group. Boom. No matter how powerful the zombies are, they will not have any resistance in the face of this thunder dragon, which can be said to be destroying the world. Thunder Dragon's speed surpassed the sound, and in that instant, the entire terrifying three-masted ship was illuminated by electric light. All the zombies were blown away and shattered. The three strange people are even more panicked and dodge around. Moria's entire body became a sea of thunder. In an instant, Moria lost at least 500 carefully crafted zombies. Moreover, with the raging tossing of the Thunder Dragon, Moria's losses continue to expand rapidly. "You bastard, you made me lose so many zombies, you pissed me off." Moria was furious and roared, "Shadow Horn!" As soon as he saw Moria's feet, a black shadow spear sprang up at the speed of sound, and stabbed fiercely towards Shajirqing's chest. Bang! Shajirqing drew a knife to resist. But the power of the shadow gun was a bit unexpected. It was like a warship with full horsepower crashing directly over it. "Little devil, make up for my loss." Moria's voice sounded again, and the Shadowhorn gun struck again. At this moment, Shajirqing's whole body exploded with goosebumps, and there was a sense of fear of falling into the ice cellar. "Chidori!" He shouted loudly, and violent thunder and lightning gathered in his hand, exuding a terrifying aura of sharpness and destruction, and collided with the Shadowhorn spear. Bang! The shocking sound of gold and iron continued to explode, and Shajirqing couldn't help groaning again, and was shaken back out again. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 108 Mighty Moria. Scatter the bats. Moria's hand, a shadow bat the size of a grinding disc, came and bit it with its bloody mouth. Thousands of birds, thousands of copies. In the face of this bat, Shajirqing did not dare to neglect. The lightning turned into 1,000 thick chopsticks, and stabbed away with precision. But when Shajirqing was dealing with the bat, in the shadow behind him, a shadow like Moria appeared with a grin. PFF'd. This blow came so suddenly. If Shajirqing hadn't been aware of it by observation hockey and let himself dodge some of the damage in advance, this blow could pierce his heart. But even so, 2 huge blood holes were cut 2 inches below his armpit. "Hey, Natsumi Young, you can't be so rude, where is the toughness when you defeated me?" Seeing that Shajirqing was injured so easily, Enel didn't want to. "Go find someone, don't delay. If the plan fails because of your delay, I can't spare you," Shajirqing said sharply to Enel. Then, facing the shadow Moria who was attacking again, he lifted his foot and slashed out a sword wave wrapped in lightning. Bah! Shadow Moria was shredded directly, but these shadows instantly turned into shadow bats, directly opening their bloody mouth and biting Shajirqing. Shajirqing was completely too late to react. Ah! He let out a pained cry, and at this moment, a blackness suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. Moria was already carrying the large scissors, and the blow collapsed the air and fell. "Lay done, angry Thunder Tiger!" Shajirqing roared, struggling with both hands to seal and release Thunder and Lightning Tiger resistance. Bah! But Moria's blow was extremely powerful, tearing the Thunder Tiger apart. Shajirqing's pupils shrank, and before the substitute technique could work, Moria smashed it into the ground. PFF'd. Shajirqing spat out a mouthful of blood, only to feel that his whole body was dislocated, and the pain was incomparable. Moria, as expected of a strongman who was rewarded with a reward of 320 million Bailey 7 or 8 years ago, is indeed amazing. But I'm not easy to mess with. Originally, I planned to use 10 days to increase the force value to about 240 plus to challenge you, but now, I don't have to. Spiritual shock is useful to Enel, and it is also useful to you. My writing wheel eye has the most powerful illusion. At this moment, Moria's force value is 243, which is 20 points stronger than Shajirqing, whose force value is only 223. Has the advantage of being completely crushed. He converted the 1050 evolution points accumulated during this period into 7 points of force, which was added to the force value, and the other 350 points were added to the evolution of Shiranyan. Post, Shajirqing. Writing wheel I state, 3-hook jade, 7,350 10,000ths. Strength, 230. Skills, Chidori Ninjutsu, Thunderbolt. Lightning Armor. Illusion. Gold Binding, Illusion. Murder in a Dream. Substitute, Transform, Shadow Clone. Observation Hockey, Armament Hockey. Kami E. Life Returns, Shigen Finger Pistol, Rankyaku, Tempest Kick, Moon Step. Swordsman Swordsmanship. I didn't add more to the writing wheel, because I was afraid that my body couldn't bear it. And the power of using illusions will undoubtedly be stronger with some strengthening of the writing wheel. Hihi, Natsu, become my zombie. With you, my forces will become even stronger. Moria was possessed and grabbed Shajur-Ching, who was covered in blood in the pit. In his opinion, Shajur-Ching no longer had the strength to resist. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 109 Illusion is King. Spiritual Shock. But just when he was about to catch Shajur-Ching, Shajur-Ching's characteristics suddenly opened his eyes, and the blood-colored 3-hook jade writing wheel turned extremely fast, releasing a terrifying impact of spiritual power. Moria think that Shajur-Ching could fight back. This impact directly on the soul made him instantly lose consciousness. Conqueror Hockey. But Moria was Moria after all, and quickly regained her senses. He looked at Shajur-Ching in astonishment, and his shrill voice was suddenly full of surprises. You actually have Conqueror Hockey, hee, it's God's help, your shadow, I want it. An LT, P and GT. With your shadow, and the body of the devil Oz, Kaido, wait for me, the day of my revenge is not far away. With that said, Moria was about to grab Shajur-Ching again, and a powerful aura emanated from his hand. Shadow Box. He shouted like this, and Shajur-Ching felt that his shadow was being manipulated and wrapped by Moria to come to him. He couldn't help being startled, and hurriedly urged the wheel shaker, illusion. Magic. The art of hanging. The moment Moria looked into Shajur-Ching's eyes, he felt that his soul was about to be sucked in by Shajur-Ching. Then, after a while, the world turned into a desert, and he was nailed to the cross, unable to move at all. He wanted to break free, just. Before he could exert his power, a powerful numbness and pain came. The scene in front of you instantly returns to reality. But seeing Shajur-Ching lingering with thunder and lightning, he was also wrapped in it, and then, he suddenly came in again. Seeing this, Moria will naturally not confront Shajur-Ching. Just as he was about to use the Shadow Warrior move to make him and his shadow change positions, Shajur-Ching's mouth revealed a hint of mockery. Do you think I'll let you succeed? Spiritual Shock. The domineering and icy mental power came again. Moria's consciousness was once again stagnant for a short time, and he shouted badly in his heart. I won't let you hurt Moria-sama. Thunder Hunter, enlighten me. Suddenly, a voice came from the air behind Shajur-Ching, but the tall leopard Absalom actually appeared behind Shajur-Ching, and slammed towards Shajur-Ching. When Absalom wanted to come, his sudden attack would definitely make Shajur-Ching panic, so he gave up his continued attack on Moria and chose to retreat. In this way, Moria can be saved. His idea is indeed very good. Generally speaking, there is no problem, but, unfortunately, he met Shajur-Ching. Shajur-Ching has been guarding Absalom since he landed on the island. No matter where the transparent fruit ability is, he is a good sneak attack, but he did not relax the investigation of Absalom. So, he has been on observation hockey since he landed on the island. Chidori Spear. The Manic Thunderbolt turned into a shocking thunder gun that directly pierced Absalom's chest. And Shajur-Ching, while attacking Absalom, flew out a sea stone chain, locking Moria who had just broken free from the mental shock. Natsu, the Thunder Hunter, don't want to hurt Moria-sama, pessimistic soul. Of Princess Perona, one of Moria's 3 weird monsters, suddenly sounded, and then Shajur-Ching felt a light and air-breaking sound coming from behind. I saw a number of transparent spirit ghosts have reached the back of Shajirching. Start a pair of writing wheels. Pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 110 The Art of Erasing Memory. Be negative for me, asshole. Corona shouted. Fuck me. Shajirching shouted angrily and released her mental shock with all her strength. Corona groaned and fell down immediately. At the same time, Shajirching covered the fire with armament hockey, and then rotated the knife in a circle, and all the ghosts were cut and disappeared. In this regard, Moria's pirate group, there is only one Hogbok left. Hogbok, do you also want to experience my strength? Shajirching stared at Hogbok with eyes like three Guyu, with an inexplicable smile on the corner of his mouth. Sengoyu blood-red pupils, you turned out to be blood pupils Shajirching. Looking at Shajirching's two representative eyes, Hogbok seemed to have suddenly remembered something, and he couldn't help showing a look of astonishment. Haha, have you been recognized so quickly? It seems that I'm quite famous. Shajirching Isho generously admitted Hogbok's guess. Aren't you afraid that I will reveal your identity? Hogbok narrowed his eyes slightly, feeling like he was holding Shajirching's handle. Hee, leak it out, do you think I'll give you this chance? Shajirching Isho, in the next moment, in order to give Hogbok a chance to react, Sengo Jade writing wheel is branded with an illusion. The art of erasing memory. This is an illusion that can directly erase memory. It's just that according to Shajirching's current ability, he can't accurately eliminate every memory he wants to eliminate, so he can only eliminate all his memories today. Ah! Hogbok lay down on the ground with a scream, and passed out in a coma. Bastard! You bastard, kind of let me go, I'm going to tear you to pieces. Bullying, what's the point of the week? Seeing all this, Moria's eyes were cracked, and she made a sharp roar at Shajirching. Then, with his hands tied, he rolled over like a bowling ball and attacked Shajirching. Hee, bullying the weak. It's just in case, Moria, I don't want my identity exposed like this right now. So, don't worry, you will all be erased from today's memory by me later. Looking at Moria, who still exudes a powerful aura even when bound by sea stone, Shajirching was also surprised by Vivi, and then avoided Moria's attack. Boom! At this moment, a castle in the distance behind Moria suddenly exploded, and Enel saw a terrifying thunderbolt lingering in his left hand, and a little girl in his right hand, rushing towards here at high speed. I found it so quickly, it's very fast. Shajirching was also a little surprised that Enel found his target so quickly. The art of erasing memory. Shajirching immediately used this technique on Moria, Perona, and Absalom, erasing all their memories. They were all in a coma. Come on, Enel, mission accomplished. Looking at Enel who arrived in front of him, Shajirching turned around and left. Don't you loot. Enel was a little surprised. According to Shajirching's temperament on Sky Island, he is arrogant and greedy, shouldn't he loot this place? He was in Moria's castle just now, but he saw a lot of treasure. Forget it, I won't rob it this time. I've already injured a person, so it's not appropriate to rob the treasure again. But could this be the real reason Shajirching didn't want to rob the treasure? Of course not. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 111 hit hard, Doflamingo strikes. This time, the reason why he didn't grab it was because Moria cared about his subordinates, which made him feel a little bit. Next time, Moria, I won't be as soft-hearted as this time. After looking at Moria like this, Shajirching left quickly. The other side. Fufufu, is this the Thunder Hunter's base? It's really big, but unfortunately, it will be destroyed soon. Doflamingo stopped on the roof of the Summer Chamber of Commerce, looking at the busy workers in the distance, the guards patrolling neatly, and a cruel smile grinned at the corner of his mouth. If you want to blame it, you guys stole the goods I want to give to Kaido, I don't want to be greeted by that monster. An LT, P and GT. So, you must die. Only then can Kaido's anger be quelled. Doflamingo shot. Bounce. When Doflamingo said that, a thin line like a high-speed bullet was ejected from his fingers. PFF'd. A worker suddenly fell. The rest of the people were shocked, but before they could react, there were several consecutive puff-puff noises, accompanied by splashes of blood, and several workers fell down. Be careful. Watch out. A group of guards reacted immediately, rushed over and surrounded all the workers. Where is the enemy? A guard had just opened his mouth when his head was suddenly pierced, his eyes widened in disbelief, and he fell to the ground. He's on the roof. Finally a guard spotted Doflamingo on the roof. Is Shichibukai Heavenly Yaksha Don Quixote? Doflamingo. When these guards saw that it was Doflamingo, they couldn't help but gasped in awe. How could it be him? How could we be his opponents? Some of these guards are pirates, and some are wanderers from other countries. They are indeed rebellious, but they also know that some people they cannot afford to offend, such as the four emperors, such as Shichibukai. Shichibukai came, and all they could feel was despair. In an instant, many guards felt shaken in their hearts. The remuneration of the Summer Chamber of Commerce is indeed rich, otherwise they would not be willing to abandon the free and unrestrained life before and become a guard here. However, no matter how rich the remuneration is, you have to live to enjoy it. And Doflamingo has the power to deprive them of their lives. Furfur, have fun, everyone. These people wavered and wanted to surrender, but Doflamingo had no such plans. Parasitic wire. Doflamingo flexed and stretched his fingers, and many long lines flew out. Then, when he was about to land quickly into the body of every guard present, a cold voice suddenly sounded, I won't let you succeed. Tuliu City Wall. In front of these guards, a thick city wall suddenly rose up, protecting the guards in a parabolic shape. That's covered with armament hockey. Bang! The parasitic thread failed to penetrate the dirt city wall, and Doflamingo let out a deep laugh again. It's interesting, it seems that you still have some strength, Anna. In front of these guards, Anna emerged from the ground. I didn't expect you to come in person, just because of that batch of semi-finished products. Anna looked at Doflamingo, her body tensed up. This man is too dangerous. Compared with him, Shajirching is no longer at the same level. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter-101-120 totally crushed. Fufufu, that's what the four emperors Kaido traded for. I don't want to bear the anger of Kaido's monster, so I can only use your lives and other goods to quell his anger. After Doflamingo finished speaking, he disappeared in place, and then appeared in front of Anna, kicking out, foot shaved. In an instant, there were 8 thin, almost transparent threads with a sharp breath, and they were cut with a manic bombardment. Anna hurriedly covered armament hockey with mud flow armor for defense. However, what shocked Anna was that his armor was torn apart instantly with a loud bang. More importantly, the arm that wrapped armament in front of him was cut open in an instant. Not only that, but there is a terrifying power on top of the shaved thread. Anna couldn't resist it at all, and was blasted out like a broken sandbag. Furfurfur, is this not going to work? Doflamingo disappeared in place again, and then, appeared behind Anna again, and said with a stern voice, bounce. Not good. Anna's pupils tightened instantly, but just as she became elemental, her body was pierced by 5 rays wrapped around armament hockey. PFF'd. Anna's pupils were completely shrunk, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. But this is not over yet. Doflamingo is about to fall again, and pull out a sharp cutting line, to cut off Anna like this. Hey! At this time, a light cannon came towards Doflamingo, making Doflamingo all startled and hurriedly retreated. Boom! The light cannon whizzed past Anna, and then the sea surface in the distance exploded, shaking the entire sea surface. Furfur, who is it? With such a strong power, the Thunder Hunter really has a group of good men. Doflamingo landed on the roof, looking at the direction the light cannon was flying in. He laughed quite arrogantly. Under his gaze, Gills appeared in front of him, holding a fine iron cannon in his hand, exuding a terrifying aura. Doflamingo, I advise you not to mess around, otherwise, the next shot will not hit the air. Gills held the cannon and threatened Doflamingo. Is that the thing, the attack? After Doflamingo finished speaking, his index finger suddenly flicked, a long line that exploded the air, directly piercing Gills's shoulder. Ah! Gears didn't react at all. He felt a pain in his shoulder, and before he could calm down, the other shoulder exploded with blood again. Puff puff. Gears's shoulder was riddled with holes in an instant. Gears screamed in agony, but at this moment, a vision suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. Doflamingo was kicking. PFF'd. As soon as Gills had time to swing the barrel, he felt a blast of heaven-opening power, which instantly cracked his sternum and blasted him out. Doflamingo, don't be too arrogant to me. Anna's voice came again. Mudslide. Doflamingo's feet suddenly rolled up, wrapping it like a meat grinder towards Doflamingo. This mud flow is extremely powerful and extremely fast. Even Doflamingo can't help but be startled. It's interesting. And just as he dodged out, Anna shouted again, reverse dragon strikes. The swept mud flow instantly turned into a huge earth dragon. It opened its hideous mouth again, and it hardened at an extreme speed. It smashed through the air and blasted towards Doflamingo. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 113 Super Strong Enemy. 5 color lines. Facing the tulong that was slamming in front of him, Doflamingo grinned and grabbed 5 long lines of different colors with 5 fingers, and cut the tulong's head without any pressure. Looking at it, Anna couldn't help but take a deep breath, and hurriedly dodged away. Bounce. Facing Anna who fled, Doflamingo flicked his finger again, and another long line flew out at an extremely fast speed, which accurately pierced Anna's shoulder, causing him to lose his balance and fall to the ground. Furfur, I accept your life. Doflamingo appeared behind Anna, and when a ray of fingers popped out again, she was about to end Anna completely, but when she heard that, Anna suddenly flew up again, her right arm turned into a huge fist, and it blasted towards Doflamingo. Drop the rogue line. However, in the face of this blow, Doflamingo not only did not take a defensive posture, but instead launched an attack directly again. The 5 long lines that I saw were like steel rakes, directly piercing Anna's arm and pinning him to the ground. Anna had no resistance at all, and Doflamingo fell down in many ways, nailing Anna to the ground completely. Daughter of the mudslide, it's over. Doflamingo moved slowly towards Anna's head with a few fingers. Anna, there is no possibility of any resistance. You bastard, let go of Lady Anna. Don't think you are Shichibukai, you can just mess around, we won't let you hurt Anna-sama. At this moment, a group of workers suddenly rushed over, holding various weapons, clubs, forks and knives in their hands, and their faces were filled with incomparable anger. Humph! In the face of these attacking people, Doflamingo snorted disdainfully, and then, his eyes widened, the domineering and treacherous conqueror Haki belonging to him blasted away. Om! In such an instant, a distorted wave visible to the naked eye spread, and all the workers who rushed over fell down. It's over, Anna the mudslide. Doflamingo grabbed Anna and was about to decapitate her. Anna closed her eyes in despair and said in her heart, Goodbye, Lord Shajirching. Doflamingo's hand fell. Just when he was on the verge of death, a terrifying sound of breaking through the air, wrapped in a sharp aura, came at an extreme speed. Chidori sharp gun. The lightning spear I saw pierced Doflamingo's head like a light, causing Doflamingo to dodge immediately. Fufufu, is the main lord finally here? Since you want to send yourself to the door to find death, then I will fulfill you together. Doflamingo looked at the gloomy Shajirching at the end of the thunder gun, and the smile on his face became even brighter. You actually came in person. It seems that I still underestimate you, so that it caused such a big loss. Shajur stood in front of Anna in a flash, and he looked at Doflamingo with a very solemn expression. His force value exceeded Shajur imagination too much. The force value is 335. It is the strongest existence he has ever seen except for a few Whitebeard backbone members such as Whitebeard and Marco. You know, if the force value exceeds 400, it has been able to fight against Admiral for a while. Moreover, this is not the strength of his peak period. The strength of his peak period, in 6 years. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 114 Writing Wheel Eyes. This is even more powerful than Enel's heyday. Shajur dare not look down on it. Natsu the Thunder Hunter, first meeting. Doflamingo looked at Shajur like a hyena, his eyes were fierce and sarcastic, making Shajur feel hairy all over. Doflamingo, you're going to pay for what you've just done. With hair all over his body, Doflamingo was bullied all over his head, and Shajur couldn't retreat, so he entered the lightning armor. Then, Shajur moved. Chidori's spear. The light-like thunder gun pierced through the air at high speed and arrived in front of Doflamingo. More than a whip. Doflamingo pushed forward with his right hand calmly, and a long phantom-like line flew out of his palm, which instantly bound the thunder gun. Crack. When Doflamingo exerted a little force, the thunder gun was cut sharply and dissipated as a piece of lightning. Then, Doflamingo manipulated the long line, twisted his body, and took Shajur face away. Bang! Shajur soul was trembling, and he quickly waved out the fire to block in front of him, but he was still slammed back in the sound of bursting gold and iron. Little devil, you have only just gained the strength to enter the new world. What you want is your life if you are too arrogant. Doflamingo's voice sounded, and the sharp long line cut through the ground and stabbed Shajur chest again. One knife flow. Land bird. Shajur drank violently, splitting the strongest sword wave, and collided heavily with this long line. Boom. The sword wave exploded, the long line collapsed, but Shajur face suddenly changed, and when he lifted his foot, a lightning sword wave was drawn. In the next instant, Doflamingo appeared in front of Shajur and the 5-color thread catapulted out to block Janbo. He said, Little devil, your reaction is really fast, but it still doesn't change anything. PFF'd. Janbo was torn apart by the 5-color thread without any pressure, and the 5-color thread continued to cover, and he wanted to cut Shajur into several pieces. Shajur pupils shrank instantly, but before he could react, he was cut into several pieces. But Doflamingo turned around in an instant and swung more than the whip again. In front of him, Shajur appeared again, and another thunder gun came out of the sky. PFF'd. The thunder gun was cut open, and even Shajur didn't have time to react. He was pierced through his chest, blood splashed, and it was extremely tragic. Seeing this, Doflamingo couldn't help but smile. But just when he thought he had solved Shajur who was pierced by him, suddenly showed a playful smile. This smile made Doflamingo instantly feel that something was wrong. If something feels wrong, it's too late. Behind Doflamingo, Shajur appeared like a ghost, and Jayan shouted, Lay done. Angry Thunder Tiger. An extremely fierce thunder and lightning tiger roared out, and the whole surrounding was illuminated. The spider's nest. Doflamingo's head was covered with ferocious blue veins all of a sudden, and he waved a long net like a fishing net with his left hand, blocking the thunder and lightning tigers. Do you think I'll let you do it? Doflamingo. Spiritual shock. Shajur roared and shouted, directly overdrawing the power of Sharingan. In an instant, a burst of spiritual energy that was visible to the naked eye and even more terrifying than Conqueror Haki burst out, distorting the space and causing Doflamingo to groan. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 115 Your doom is here. Roar. The thunder and lightning tiger slammed into the spider web heavily, and the terrifying thunder and lightning burst out, sizzling loudly, shaking the quartet. The earth shatters, the air roars. But even so, the thunder tiger did not break through Doflamingo's defense and was blocked. Doflamingo is evident. Foo, I didn't expect you to have such a powerful trick, it's really hard to guard against. But unfortunately, the power is so bad that it can't even break my defense. How do you want to fight me? In just 2 seconds, Doflamingo was awake, and his body was covered with sharp long lines, which hardly gave Shajurching a chance to attack. Such a result is not beyond Shajurching's expectations. For those who know hockey, the effect of mental shock is not great. An unbreakable defense. It's too early to say this. After listening to this, Shajurching couldn't help but issue. The three-hooked jade riding wheel eyes turned extremely fast, and rushed towards Doflamingo. Come, you have to send yourself to your door to find death, I'll do it for you. Seeing Shajurching rushing over by himself, Doflamingo's smile became even brighter. With a wave of his palm, he grabbed 5 steel lines and covered it again, 5 color lines. And Shajurching, facing the steel wire that was cut in front of him at this moment, he calmly looked at Doflamingo and said, illusion. The magic in the fox's heart. This is a more advanced illusion than the gold binding technique. Not only can it confuse the enemy, but the person who is hit will lose a lot of physical strength and lose. PFF'd. Shajurching was shattered by an instant cut, and before Doflamingo had time to be happy, he only felt a sudden change in front of him, and he came to a maze. His observation hockey is completely useless. Furfur, it's interesting, but do you think it's going to be difficult to get me? He didn't panic at all, he took himself as the center, and radiated a sharp long line to protect himself. Broken. Then, his conqueror hockey burst out, turning into rolling waves, and the maze instantly dissipated more than half. But just when Doflamingo thought that he was about to break free and could capture Shajurching in one fell swoop. PFF'd. The sudden pain in the chest and abdomen, as well as the tingling pain, made Doflamingo feel a little stunned. The maze in front of him disappeared in an instant. Shajurching held the thunder gun in his hand, and pierced his body unobstructed. The steel wires he released, which he thought would protect him heavily, without loopholes, were actually full of loopholes. Doflamingo, feel the tyranny of thunder and lightning. Shajurching made a seal with one hand, and then pointed to the sky and drank, lay done. Tian lay tribulation punishment. A huge dark cloud instantly covered Doflamingo, and the entire sky suddenly darkened. And then, boom! A thunderbolt as thick as a bucket roared and fell, and Doflamingo's cold hairs exploded, so hurry up and cover it with armament hockey. Boom! 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 Doflamingo was completely shrouded in lightning, and the terrifying bombardment blasted the surrounding earth, and the gravel splashed endlessly. This thunder and lightning, which lasted for more than 3 minutes, was like the end of the day, shocking. But what is strange is that the dark clouds in the sky not only did not dissipate, but even more intense. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 116 Perish Together. Furfur, kid, is this all your attack? It's really good, but it's a pity that you still can't beat me. The moment the thunder and lightning stopped, Doflamingo's voice came again. Although he was embarrassed, his breath was not weak at all. As soon as he stepped forward, someone appeared in front of Shajurching in a flash, grabbed Shajurching's neck directly, and pushed him to the ground. Little devil, your end is here. Doflamingo's palms are bent into claws, and there is a steel wire hooked into a cutting machine, and he is about to cut off Shajurching's head. Is that so? Doflamingo, do you think I don't know that lightning strikes like that can't help you? But why should I go on for so long and waste so much energy? Shajurching laughed, and without waiting for Doflamingo to retreat, Shajurching shouted, "Enel, come on. Use your most enthusiastic move to welcome our Lord Heavenly Yaksha. I am a person of thunder and lightning, I can bear it." And at the moment when Shajurching's words fell, the sky suddenly darkened again, and then a young voice sounded again, 200 million volts. Lei Ying. Boom. In the sky that I saw, it was like the end of the day, and a terrifying thunder and lightning exploded, exuding a terrifying aura. The thunder snake danced wildly, and the thunder light overflowed, shaking the cloud dome. Then, the thunder and lightning condensed into a huge thunderball that enveloped the entire island, and then it crashed down like this. Mad. Shajurching's thunderbolt Enel may not care much, but Enel's thunderbolt made him feel a heartfelt panic. He knew that if he was hit, the game would probably be over. He immediately let go of Shajurching, and then, without thinking about it, he just ran away in the air. It's not worth losing your life for Shajurching. Anna, evacuate with everyone. This place is about to be destroyed. Shajurching instructed Anna, who just got up not far away and wanted to rush over to help. The latter struggled for a while, and after giving Shajurching a "must be safe" look, he grabbed Giles and a group of workers and landed on the summer ship parked behind the island. Then, fly away quickly. Back to Doflamingo again. Since you're here, do you think you can leave so easily? Doflamingo. Shajurching shouted like a madman. Spiritual shock. The huge mental shock erupted, and Doflamingo's movements froze for a moment. He couldn't help but scolded, "Damn," but he didn't dare to stop at all and continued to walk away. Spiritual shock. Spiritual shock. But where would Shajurching let Doflamingo go, in the end? Just as Doflamingo rushed out of the sea, the huge thunderball came down and exploded in an instant. Asshole. Doflamingo only uttered such a violent drink, and fell into the endless manic thunder and lightning. At this moment, even Shajurching, who is wrapped in armament and wrapped in lightning armor, has a feeling of being completely wiped out. This is a terrifying trick that can destroy an island in an instant. It has the power of an ancient weapon, and it is enough to make the whole sea turbulent. The island where Shajurching's summer chamber of commerce is located is crumbling and shattering rapidly. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 117 both loses. The sea is roaring, and huge waves more than 100 meters high are constantly flying, and roaring and raging to the surrounding areas, directly submerging the island where the summer chamber of commerce is located. Then, a huge light cannon with a diameter of at least 1,000 meters, mixed with thunder and lightning, also raged. All the creatures in the sea suddenly suffered. The sea with a radius of several thousand meters has completely turned into a forbidden area of lightning, without any vitality. No life is allowed. A dead sea fish floated up. Among them, there are many sea kings with a length of several hundred meters. After a long time, the light cannon dissipated, and there were no traces of any islands in the sea. There is only a surging sea, witnessing all this happening. Shajurching, Doflamingo, all disappeared. Lord Shajurching will be fine. If something happens to him, let us do it. In the far distance, Anna, who is also on the summer ship, whose hull was damaged, looked at the boundless sea and said worriedly. But just as she finished speaking, cough. On the sea in the distance, Shajurching's voice suddenly came. Anna was suddenly shocked, her eyes flashed with deep joy, and she hurriedly drove the summer number away. When Anna arrived at the place where Shajurching was, she saw Shajurching floating on the sea like a scorched corpse, with a sluggish breath. Seeing Anna coming, Shajurching slowly pulled out a wry smile. Anna didn't dare to neglect, and immediately let someone salvage Shajurching lightly. All the workers looked at Shajurching in surprise. Although they don't know much, they still know that devil fruit people are afraid of seawater. In their eyes, Shajurching is definitely capable. But he was not afraid of seawater at all, and they didn't see the feeling of weakness from being soaked in seawater at all from Shajur-Ching's body. According to normal phenomena, Shajur-Ching should have been in a coma long ago if he was so weak and immersed in seawater. But the fact is that Shajur-Ching has absolutely no sense of weakness when someone with devil fruit ability encounters seawater, and is completely unaffected. Cough cough, evacuate quickly, the Doflamingo guy shouldn't hang up so easily. Don't let him recover and hunt us down. This time, this crazy trick can still work. Next time, it won't be so. Shajur-Ching looked at Anna. She was so weak that she didn't speak at all. Understood, Mr. Shajur-Ching, you should rest well and leave the next thing to me. Anna nodded and looked at her Shajur-Ching with a worried look on her face. The person who just released this blow is called Enel. He is a powerful being, but his temper is rebellious. If he's disobedient, use Seastone against him, as well as Hockey. In short, he must not be allowed to make more moves, otherwise, we have no chance at all. Hearing this, Anna nodded again, indicating that she knew. Seeing this, Shajur-Ching breathed a sigh of relief, and then passed out in a coma. Lei Ying's formidable power is too strong, his whole body cells have been destroyed, and it is quite good to be able to save a life. This time, Shajur-Ching will definitely not be able to recover without a week's rest. Shajur-Ching was so tragic while wrapped in lightning armor, so what about Doflamingo? Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 118, The Sea Friar is up. Ho 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 ho, this kid is really crazy, almost he died at his hands. However, it is a blessing in disguise, and I have touched the threshold of awakening. Above a certain sea, Doflamingo, who was suspended in the air with a steel wire, said with a big mouth and breath. His whole body was charred black, his body was covered with ferocious wounds, and he smelled of burnt stench. The wounds in some places can even see deep bones, and the wound on the chest can directly see the beating heart. Doflamingo swears that he has never been so weak. Even if he was chased by Suru Vice Admiral before, he had never been pushed into a corner like this and almost died. But also because he almost died, on the verge of death, he finally stepped on the threshold of awakening. Natsu, the Hunter of Thunder, I remember you. I hope after I recover, you can stop me again. Doflamingo, the Sea Rogue, Heavenly Yaksha, the existence known as Joker in the underground trade. Ruthless and ruthless, he will pay for it, this is his basic attribute. I was almost killed by Shajur-Ching today, how could this hatred not be counted? He slowly opened up his abilities and slowly walked into the New World Dressrosa. When he recovers and has a preliminary grasp of Fruit Awakening, he will let Shajur-Ching know how powerful he is. The two warring parties left, but their war caused another wave in the entire sea. The Thunder Hunter is so powerful that Heavenly Yaksha, Don Quixote, Doflamingo was hit hard by him and escaped. That was used to check and balance the existence of the four emperors of the New World, and was actually defeated by the Thunder Hunter. How strong is this guy, and the growth rate is too terrible. On the sea, not only the pirates are surprised, but also the people of all countries. The speed of Shajur-Ching's rise was too fast, making them feel a little uneasy. Marine Headquarters. I thought you guys finally stopped, but now it seems that you held back a big move and released it. Heavenly Yaksha, a New World powerhouse, has actually collapsed. How strong is your strength now? Where is your bottom line? Sengoku looked at the stack of photos on the table. It was the process of the battle. His eyes narrowed, and he said, having the ability to instantly destroy an island is too terrifying. It is already comparable to ancient weapons. An LT, P and GT. Your existence is really exciting and crazy. Sengoku let out a sigh of relief and continued. Next, those strong men in the sea who are coveting you should also start to do it. I just don't know, how long can you last? The four emperors of the New World need your strength very much. New World. With such a person, it is the Whitebeard Pirates, and we have the possibility to defeat him. This is the voice from the Big EPUB pirates, one of the 4 emperors. This kind of power, we can't let go. Whitebeard already has the power to destroy the world. If we let him have this kind of person, we will be even more dangerous. This is the original words of Kaido of the Beasts, one of the 4 emperors. In short, at the moment when Shajirqing's blow, Lei Ying, landed on the sea, he became a must-have item for all major forces. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 119 Whitebeard's Thoughts. Whitebeard Pirates. Cool, this kid can really make a fuss. To make that bastard, Heavenly Yaksha, deflate, it seems that he has already walked his own path. Whitebeard put down the bottle and grinned Isho. Hee, of course, that guy Shajirqing has always been a very planned person. No plan, I think he will never leave the Whitebeard Pirates and go out independently. Marco Isho, took Whitebeard's words, replied and slapped Vivi's ass. However, my Whitebeard Pirates can't be beaten for nothing. Heavenly Yaksha, even a mere clown dares to attack my son. It seems that Kaido is not putting enough pressure on him. Whitebeard said this, his eyes suddenly froze, and a domineering aura erupted, and the deck of the Moby Dick burst open. The clouds in the sky revolved and retreated, fearing the terrifying momentum of Whitebeard. Dad, that kid Shajirqing called me, let's not interfere in this matter, he said he would settle it himself. Marco said helplessly to Whitebeard. Cool, this kid is still so used to being brave, well, since he wants to settle it by himself, let's see his means. Whitebeard is very democratic. Hearing that Shajirqing wanted to settle it by himself, he immediately showed a smile of relief and half-expectation. No more mentions about Doflamingo. Hey, I wonder what kind of miracle he will bring us. Marco heard Whitebeard's words, he was also relieved. Whitebeard really wanted to target Doflamingo, he couldn't stop him. Ha, don't worry, that guy has never let us down. A group of members of the Whitebeard Pirates said with a smile, they were quite confident in Shajirqing. He just didn't know how flustered Doflamingo, who was going to Dressrosa to recuperate at the moment, knew that Whitebeard had thought about targeting him. And just when everyone in the sea thought that Shajirqing's record was just forcing Doflamingo back, a piece of news from Marine made Shajirqing a popular figure again. One of the Shichibukai, Gecko Moria, was defeated by Natsu the Thunder Hunter. And rescued a little girl. In an instant, the sea could not help but boil again. This feeling is good, both Shichibukai were beaten by Shajirqing, and they won. Many people sighed in their hearts. As expected of the Thunder Hunter, he is indeed amazing. And Marine, very cooperatively updated Shajirqing's reward order. The Thunder Hunter Nachi, with a bounty of 521 million, is extremely vicious, let him kill him. For a time, Shajirqing's limelight overwhelmed the entire sea. 2 days later. Above Sky Island, white sea. Is this the Sky Island? It is indeed a good place. It is hidden and has beautiful scenery. It is also suitable for use as a training base because of the lack of oxygen in the high altitude. During the period when Shajirqing was in a coma, Anna temporarily became the manager of all the forces under Shajirqing. She looked at the scenery around the Sky Island and nodded with satisfaction. Of course, this is Sky Island, my territory, naturally it won't be too bad. Hearing Anna's praise, Enel immediately said proudly. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 120 Build a base. Correct you a little, this is Lord Naz's territory now, not your place. You must be self-conscious as a subordinate. Shajirqing glanced at Enel and said in a cold tone. Yes, I got it. Enel, who has always been extremely arrogant and rebellious, actually bowed down to Anna this time. It was possible to do this because 1 day ago, Anna used the fruit ability to be naturally immune to lightning. In addition, Seastone and Armament Hockey abused Enel a few times and directly overcame Enel. Next, just settle down on this Sky Island. You all know the order after Lord Naz woke up yesterday. In the next few months, it will be used to rebuild the power, develop strength, and no longer make public appearances on the sea, so as not to be coveted by other forces. Anna looked at the people around her and said solemnly. Everyone who was swept by her eyes couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts and felt a little uncomfortable. If there is nothing to do, start developing. According to Lord Nats, this Sky Island is a self-sufficient place, and it should not be a problem to develop a power. Yes. A group of people took orders, and immediately, everyone followed the going boat towards Apayado Island. Enel had already notified the priests under him, so when they arrived, the priests and the minions of the gods were already waiting. Master Enel, you are back. A member of the Ministry of God saluted Enel and said with some excitement. Well, that's about it. Let me introduce you to me. This is my companion, Your Excellency Anna. You will also need to call her Lady Anna in the future, understand? Her orders are my orders, and you all have to follow them. There will be some of her subordinates who will become the administrators of this Sky Island with you. Also, we will build some bases not far from this shrine. Without our orders, you don't want to approach casually, and you don't allow other untouchables to take the opportunity to approach, understand? At this moment, Enel is the Enel of God, majestic and domineering. Yes. The four priests responded at the same time and unconditionally obeyed Enel's orders. Looking at this, Anna nodded, and couldn't help frowning. The power of these priests is not small, and they are so obedient to Enel, which may affect the majesty of Shajurching and the execution of the next order. Of course, Anna also understands that it takes time to adjust slowly. After all, Enel has ruled Sky Island for 6 years, and it is not an easy task to eliminate his prestige so easily. I heard that another group of people came to Sky Island. They are Shajurching's subordinates. I heard that their leader is still a woman. I heard that they came here just yesterday. Even Enel of God listened to them and completely regarded Apahado Island as their private base. So in the past, my Shandia family will never have the chance to retake Apayado Island. The arrival of Anna and the others made the people of the Shandia family unable to sit still, anxious and even desperate. They thought that Shajurching would not take measures against Sky Island soon. After all, it is not as simple as imagined to rule Sky Island. But they didn't expect that in less than 5 days, Shajurching began to attack Sky Island and began to build a base. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed.